Take it away, John.
Hey, hello, Martin County. This is John Campion, your co-host on Martin County Business Exchange Wednesday night show with Big Frank Mezzapel, Mr. Downtown himself. How you doing, Frank?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you for asking.
All right.
And
who's zooming who, right?
Yeah. So this was my first time. I feel accomplished. I did this with the assistance of the morning crew. I must admit, Evan from the morning show was very gracious and very helpful, and showed me how I can utilize his sound card and my laptop, and we can make it all work. So it was delightful.
Frank, you are so good at talking people into doing stuff for you. So they take one look at you and they go, is he a big Frank or is he?
Well, we gotta just help this poor sucker out.
So, 2 Z's, 2 L's, couple of E's.
I know.
I
got all the vowels and consonants going on, don't I?
You should be like a Jeopardy question,
right?
But we are here. We are on. This is our second Wednesday back.
Yes.
Trying to get things cranked back up for everybody. We know we have thousands of listeners today. We appreciate you being there, and we've got as our guest one of our members, of course,
special guest. Yes,
very special. He's a special person, and it's Ron Mraz, M-R-O-Z, Mraz. I just want to make sure I don't slur that. From Magic Bubbles. Power wash and incredible little business that Ron has built up over the last 3 years now, Ron? 4? Heck.
Yeah, just a little over 3 years, John.
Okay, it's it's Florida time. It's tough to keep track.
But that's funny. This time's tough to keep track. I moved down here from up north, and the seasons blend together sometimes, and you're like, oh man, it's Christmas already.
Yeah, but the problem is you're still a Buckeye fan, right?
That's not a problem, but yes, I'm still a Buckeye fan.
So guess where you moved down from, everyone? It's the first trivia question of the day.
Right?
No, we're glad to have you, and you've been a tremendous member of our group. We'll make you feel good. We'll always pat you on the back and make you feel good because you got such positive things going with your business. But happy to have you here, and Ron's at home out there. Don't you live on Jupiter Island or something?
No, I moved from there. No, I'm joking. I live down in the Gardens.
That's great. That's great.
Beautiful area. Yeah.
And then Frank was released from his house for a few hours with his lovely wife.
Yeah. I'm on a temporary release program. Exactly.
And my wife works with me, and she couldn't wait to leave and go home. So I'm such a lucky guy. But, hey, it's been a long day because I hopped on. We do a Zoom meeting with our, if you've listened regularly or don't really care or don't know, but Wednesday mornings when life is normal, we meet every Wednesday morning from 7 to 8:30, the Martin County Business Exchange group. Over at the Elks Lodge there on Canner, and for networking and a wonderful breakfast from Very Fresh, and then our we always have a what we call a guest speaker, but it's a member, and in this case, not that Ron would have been speaking today, but everybody's got so many things going on, and the fact that I think it's Wednesday, is it not?
Yes, it sure is.
So
it is Wednesday.
Yeah. Anyways,
I'm sorry I missed this morning's breakfast meeting, which is and I understand that that it was pretty good today, right? You had about
I got it. Hats off to Eric Keene
from C&W,
who's from C&W, yes, C&W Computer, and Sam Yates, who's our marketing guy. Eric is like the whiz on business stuff going on, particularly for us business owners. And for those of you out there who don't own a business or have to worry about things that you hear going on, PPPs and IEDs and LEMs and this and that, we're just glad that we can be running our businesses and paying our employees and getting things charged back up, but being safe.
Yes.
In doing that.
That's the watchword, isn't it?
So, you know, I don't know. I think, Ron, you guys wear like safety masks anyways, don't you? Like the big visors or something, or you know,
yeah, some of the times, depending on the work we're doing, we have some goggles that we're wearing, and that's a preference for the employees. But when we're working, cleaning roofs or especially screen enclosures, we're wearing a mask that actually is pretty heavy duty. So the one problem we did have when this first started happening is that I couldn't find those masks anymore. Folks were out to all the box stores and places where you get those masks, and they are buying them up, even though they were way inappropriate for the need.
Homeowner use.
Obviously understand folks.
Right. Yeah. Why don't you, hey, Ron, why don't you tell our listeners about your business? Because I was out talking to one of my neighbors last night, and they hadn't heard of you. And I said, well, you got a brand new roof, so you won't need them for a while, but maybe for your pavers. But
there you go.
Anyways, just tell us about your business. And I wish we could, it's the radio. I wish we could put up a photo of you. That really cool. Yeah.
Oops. Hello.
Uh-oh. Did we lose John?
Yeah.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. You got a little crackle
you
there.
Were you were going to put a photo of something up.
No, I said if we could.
Could.
This is the radio. Remember, Ron? You don't have to nod your head. I remember. I being reminded.
I can't help it. I'm still doing it. So.
That's okay. That's okay.
So thanks, John, and I appreciate you recommending me to your neighbors. Happy to help them out whenever they're ready. Magic Bubbles Pressure Cleaning. I've been in business in Martin County and now St. Lucie County as well for the last 3.5 years or so. We are professional pressure cleaners that do commercial and residential work. We do work for neighborhoods, the entire HOA, sidewalks, and things like that, playground equipment, pool decks. But day to day, we're stopping at customers' homes. We're cleaning their roofs, or we're doing house washes for them, which is anything from the roof line down. We clean driveways, patios, pool decks. I've done boat docks, barns, horse barns, all kinds of things. Anything that can be pressure cleaned, we can do that. We use a low pressure chemical cleaning method for roof cleaning. So we're not damaging your roof tiles by taking heavy equipment up there and high pressure water to wash the roof tiles. And the low pressure chemical roof cleaning has the added benefit that it does a much better job than the old way of doing it with the high pressure and the heavy equipment. On your house wash, we use a process where we rinse with water, then we apply our cleaning solution where it's appropriate, so it's not everywhere, and then we're rinsing it off again. And then we also do paver sealing. So if you need your pavers sealed, we can clean your pavers up and then apply a seal coating that helps protect your investment, and which is pretty substantial for a pool deck or a driveway from the sun or oil and gas and things like that. And that's about it in a nutshell.
Well, and the thing about your business, and of course, I'm always a big fan of what you do because I've used your service 2 or 3 times. It's not every year or whatever, and Ron, not that he takes extra good special care of me, but he did, and he has. But I've had my roof, he's done my driveway, he's done my sidewalk, he's done my pavers around my pool, and always a wonderful job. And I try to leave as many things out on the patio that I can to aggravate the hell out of you guys to move the stuff around. But thanks for moving it for me. Yeah. In all seriousness, the methodology and knowing that, it kind of reminds me of some of the people who do work for us, some plumbers here at European Kitchen and Bath. When I tell people they're going to come into your house and they're going to, you'll never know they were there. And when Ron came to our house, I knew he was there because it was clean, but it had been done earlier in the day, and he did exactly what he said he'd do. And it's great when your expectations are met or exceeded, as mine have every time you've done work for me. So I'm most grateful for that. And then the other thing that I'm like a good promoter for your business. A salesman is the easiest guy to sell, I've been told, right, Frank?
Absolutely. Yes, I've been guilty of that myself. Yes.
So, one of the things that, Ron does, it's not like they go, well, should I meet you at the house so you can give me no. what he does is tell us what you do, how you do that. Don't you do a Google Earth thing and zoom down and get your square footage or something?
Yeah. So one of the things, thanks for the great comments, and all my customers are special. So my little secret. Sorry, John.
That's okay.
Yeah. So one of the things John has always gone on about, and I think is great as well, is that, we're really low touch. So if you want to do business with us, go to our website, fill out the form that says what you want to do. We'll reply via email with a quote. You can accept that quote via email, and then we'll just show up when we arrange to do the job and take care of it. And then when we're there, you don't need to talk to us. You don't need to see us. You don't even need to be home. You just call us up later and make the payment, or you mail a check to us, or we'll touch base with you to collect as well. So the great thing is that we make it really easy for you to get in touch with us. And, it kind of, without even trying, we are very good at social distancing. So something to keep in mind this time, because of all those reasons. When we come to your house, you don't need to be there. My crew wears masks, when they're doing their work, because of the cleaning solutions that we use to protect them. So we don't have to interact with you if you don't want us to. Although we're happy to do that. And one of the things I love about owning this business is the people I get to meet. So if there are folks out there that like to have on-site quotes, or when I do bigger jobs, I certainly go out and take a look at those jobs. And I love chatting with folks and explaining what we do as a business, and and just talking in general.
Well, and then half the fun is it's so easy to, yes, you do have to pay for the service. So doing that, or if, then
but you don't even have to be home. That's the best part. So if you're seasonal resident and you want the house cleaned before you get home or while you're away, Ron could take care of that too. So that's kind of nice that he has the flexibility, and you don't have to be home, and he can just take care of things, and it's going to be done right.
And the other cool thing, God, Ron, do I have to do all this for you? No, I'm just kidding. You're probably sitting there petting your dog.
You are my salesman, unofficially. But,
well, the only difference in our first name is you start yours with R and I start mine with J. So
that's right.
And I'm a University of Michigan, anyways. So
what?
Yeah, no, actually, I went to Western Michigan, but people go, what? No, in all seriousness. The other cool thing is you have a really great, a program, like a membership thing. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we have a program called the Magic Membership Program, and it's basically a program that has us come visit your home 2 times per year. And on your first visit, we'll come and we'll clean your roof. We'll do a house wash. We'll clean the patio, screen enclosure if you have it, driveway. We've also included things like fences, whether it's wood or plastic or PVC. Docks, again, same thing, whether it's wood or not. We can include all that in that membership program, and because we're coming out regularly, 6 months later down the road. We're cleaning everything again, with the exception of the roof. Roof is once a year. Everything else is twice a year. We're discounting that total of what those 2 visits would normally cost by 40%. And then we're breaking it up so that you make just easy monthly payments. So, depending on the size of your property, the prices start at $39 per month. But it's a great way to maintain your home and keep it looking clean, and it keeps your HOA board members that are charged with who's got a dirty roof and whose driveway isn't clean from getting those letters. So it's funny. I just sold one the other day to a woman off of Cove Road, and she asked me. She goes, "What's the catch here? It seems too good to be true." Because she was looking at the price and she couldn't believe it. And I said, the deal is that, we're here every 6 months. So it's easy for us to maintain and keep clean. So we're in and out faster. We're using less chemicals. And for that, the customer gets a much better price than they would if we were doing a one-time service. And she signed it the next day. So it's
Great.
yeah, and it's just a great program because that's appealing to folks.
Well,
they
it
want
sells
stuff
itself,
where-
doesn't it?
Yeah, they want stuff where, hey, they're not going to be here forever and interrupting my life. Two, if we're using less chemicals to get the job done, hey, that's awesome. That's less in the environment. And three, it's keeping their place clean, and they don't have to worry. It's one less thing they have to worry about with respect to maintaining their home.
And that keeps the neighborhood Nazi crew from cruising around in their golf cart, flagging your house like we got flagged.
Oh no!
Yes.
Perish the thought.
Perish the thought. My gosh! And they get aggro. Hey Frank, you know how it is when Tiffany gets riled.
Oh God!
Okay, well,
you don't want to ever have a Chinese woman angry at you.
all right. Well, you don't want to have a little 64-year-old Mennonite grandma getting pissed off at you either. Pardon me, I didn't mean to say that P word.
Too late, John.
I know. Well, the FCC's coming for me.
Oh my
that's
God!
probably my third strike.
Oh lordy, lordy.
I know. Well, that's what happens when you have a volunteer co-host.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize to all our listeners.
We're
if
getting
I said something wrong. But I was watching Netflix last night.
Uh-oh.
It got me all set up. No. But anyways,
Yes.
but Ron, I think that is really great stuff. And yes, that people want to protect their investment and you make it easy. So, with that fee and that's great. And I think you established all that pricing after you did work for me, and I told you need to raise your prices. So it's my fault.
Well, you're my salesperson and business advisor.
That's
Hey,
right. That's
hey.
right. That's right.
Yeah,
Frank,
I'm radio
you don't have to
show
worry about
co-host.
that. Wait till you buy a house again, Frank. Then
Oh my
you'll be
God.
lining up for that.
No,
But
I don't know if you ever get some of those snippet articles that, about stuff that goes on around the world. And one of those things on my news feed was about in Sicily, you can buy houses for €1. That was a couple of months back. I don't know what's going on now.
Really? What
But
was
yeah,
the
the catch is you can't use it as rental property.
catch?
You have to live there. So, and that's it. That's the only catch. It's really not a bad deal. So
Maybe somebody died from COVID and they didn't know what to do with the house.
this was before all that nonsense started. Yeah,
that's really amazing.
Well, it's
So-
probably even cheaper now, then, right?
I don't know if you
Yeah.
can get cheaper than
Boy.
€1, right?
Yeah,
But
I
it's
thought
kind of
I
hard.
was bad.
But
Ron,
the
I'm rubbing
Italians.
off on you, brother.
This is a little aside, but when I took a tour of Sicily with my mom and my aunt a few years ago, we were all every day we would be driving. We drove the entire island of Sicily on a chartered bus, and so there was all these houses where the businesses, there would be like a retail shop downstairs, and then the people would live upstairs, right? And so the second floor was mom and dad lived there, and then the daughter would live, on the third level above mom and dad. That's kind of where it worked, and above on her third level, there was rebar sticking out, and it's just kind of stubbed out, and it looked like it's kind of old. And so the question was, why aren't they finishing the construction? Because everywhere you looked, you saw this pretty much. And the answer was that the Italian government doesn't start charging you property taxes until you complete your construction job. So these people just never finish their job.
I'll tell you where that happens here in the United States, and I found out this winter.
Yeah.
You know where that happens?
Where?
It's in I'm going to get the city right.
Okay.
When I was on my tour with my brother-in-law out there, we were doing the drone filming of the national parks
Yeah.
out in Utah.
Yes.
There is this might make some people cringe, but it's an interesting story.
All
There's
right.
a town called Colorado City.
Yes. Okay.
Have you ever heard of it?
I have heard of it. Yes.
It's a all Mormon Latter-day Saints community. And that's what they do to the houses there because, the families grow because it's a bigamy.
Unofficially. Yes.
Whatever it is.
Yes. Yes.
Anyways, like there's one guy there that my brother-in-law's brother told us he had 8 wives.
Oof.
And they all divorced him on the same day.
Nice.
Ouch.
Now, we were cruising around on this crazy, crazy drive. We drove miles and miles on back roads. It was a real trip.
Right.
And when we got on this one road to go where we were going, my brother-in-law, Ken, got so excited when he said, oh, John, Colorado City, 12 miles. And so when we drove in there, he knew that one of his brothers, a couple of his brothers are LDSs, Latter-day Saints. I'm not swearing or anything.
No. I knew what you're saying.
But he called his brother while we were just driving through some of the neighborhoods there, and you could see where the homes were not finished. And that's exactly what they do there, Frank. So
see, they picked up on the and by the way, the State House in Utah. Have you ever been to the State House there?
No, I
absolutely gorgeous construction. They used all Italian marble on the inside. It is just breathtaking when you go inside the State House there. It's just wow.
I have to say, we realized, and I'm not trying to get away from what Ron's saying. I think it's very interesting. I didn't realize that about Italy, and of course, immediately, part of my brain went off, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Because I learned a lot on this particular trip about the western part of the country, with the Navajo and the government land, and Indian protection, and all that. But really amazing when we were in certain parts of Utah, how nice the people were.
Yes.
And you could tell because, one hotel we checked in, all the women were so nice to us. I was like, oh my
God. Little did they know.
Little did they know who they were dealing with. That's right.
Very good. Very good.
So
we're just about a minute and a half away from our regulation timeout. And we are going to disconnect the Zoom call, and then you guys will reconnect during our commercial break.
Okay.
And so we want to invite our listeners to stay tuned because we have vital commercial messages for them to pay attention to. And then when we return, we'll have much more of this amazing storytelling to share. How's that?
Please don't touch that dial.
Don't touch that dial. That's right.
This is the Martin County Business Exchange Wednesday night show. John Campion co-host with Frank Mezzapelle. How do we say that in Italian, Frank?
Mezzapelle. So I just got a message here from Zoom. We've removed the 40-minute time limit. So, gentlemen, don't disconnect the call.
Cool.
All right. So stay.
They like us. They
stay.
Did that
Yes.
last week.
All right. Cool. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Yes. Thank you, Frank.
All right.
Steve, presto! No doubt about it. I gotta get another hat.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
1 minute, guys. Thirty seconds.
Every morning at the mine, you could see him arrive.
I can't help myself. John, are you there?
I am.
And everybody knew
All
you
right.
didn't give no.
Very good. Well, all right.
Every
I'm
morning.
going to
at
try to fade that out. There it is. It's all gone. All right.
But I gotta say, I love. Hey, Rocky, I love that stuff.
Yeah, you do a pretty good Bullwinkle. I like it.
Hey, you know,
I
it's,
love it. That's great.
Gosh, yeah, I can't do that. Yeah, thank you though. But you know, we're back, and John Campion, co-host with Frank Mezzapel, and we have our wonderful member guest today, Ron Mraz from Magic Bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Ron, I think that you might want to give people your website and maybe a phone number to call, and you know, check you guys out on the web. So why don't you give us that information?
Sure. The website is magicbubbleswash.com. And then you can reach us by phone at 772-210-1173. And email ron at magicbubbleswash.com.
Nice. Easy way to get to you.
Absolutely.
Or you can go to mcbe.org and you can look them up there as well. And all the links are hyperlinked, I believe, as well, right off our website.
Pressure cleaning is the category he's under, but he's in there. And one of my fun things is, you know, I always am making up names for people like I do for Frank. And of course, I call Ron Mraz, M-R-O-Z. I call him Mr. Oz.
Aw.
And
the great Oz, the great and powerful Oz. I like it.
that's
go.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
The pressure cleaner behind the curtain.
Yeah.
That's right. There you go. There you go. The stories I can tell.
Right. Well, speaking of stories, well, that's a great segue, John. Ron, if you have an interesting story, I know our listeners love hearing Magic Bubble stories. If you'd like to share.
I'm trying to.
You know what I was wondering, Ron? Have you guys
Yes.
ever like gone and cleaned the wrong home?
Yes. Fortunately, no, but almost. So if that counts, we got to a house. Oh boy, it's probably been a couple years ago now. But rolled up on the house, parked the truck, and the first thing we always do is we look for where we can connect to water, because we bring our own water, but we supplement with the homeowner's water. And then we're knocking on the door at the same time. So hey, Mr. Homeowner, how are you? We're here to do your roof cleaning in this case. Any questions, comments, concerns, whatever. Nobody answers. So, the next thing is kind of take a peek around the house. So we look around the house, and the roof is a cedar shake roof. The one roof style we don't clean. It's just it requires
Special handling. Yes.
Yeah, and it's special handling, and it's not really something. Some pressure cleaners do it, but they don't do it, the normal way you would pressure clean a roof or low pressure chemical clean a roof. So anyway, we're there, and I'm like, so I call my office, and I'm like, did you give us the right address? And this has a cedar shake roof, and lo and behold, they gave us the wrong address, and we were supposed to be down the street further. So fortunately, if it had been a normal, I don't mean normal roof. If it had been anything else, a tile or a clay roof or asphalt shingle roof, that person would have gotten a free cleaning. So that
Luck
then,
of the draw. You just happen to have
Yeah.
the wrong profile roof. Yes.
correct. Yeah, for us it was good because that's the worst thing that we could have done. And it has happened. Now that I'm telling that story, it has happened before, but with a driveway, and it was an address in St. Lucie County. Sometimes Google just doesn't do the right thing. I'll throw that out there.
That is true.
But ended up at the wrong house, and this was my crew. I wasn't even on the truck that day, and customers calling us up and saying, "Hey, they were never here. They didn't do this." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I have GPS on the truck, so we can keep an eye on where the truck is, and we know how long the truck is at the site and everything. And I'm like, "We were there." And then she confirms her address, and I'm like, "No, we weren't there." So it does happen occasionally. We try to check to make sure that doesn't happen. But unfortunately, we run into things like that from time to time.
Yeah, I know that one. We sell those Toto toilets here that I'm always,
Yes.
making.
Well, we talked about that
everybody
last
laugh.
week, didn't we? Yes, the famous golf ball stories.
There you go.
Yes.
And so, I have 3 bathrooms at my house. Well, 2 of the 3 have mistakes in them. And by that, I mean, we loaded the wrong toilet or the wrong color toilet in a plumber's car or the owner's car, and it was installed and it was used. And then, was brought back to our attention, and we said, well, bring it back. We get it. And so, where does that go? It went to my house.
Right.
So I ran out of bathrooms, so we can't make those mistakes. Just like you're pointing out, Ron. Yeah.
Well, you
I
could
didn't
put
load
one
it
up
in, and nobody
by the pool, maybe an outdoor one somewhere.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, you can always gift him to Horniman. He'd make outdoor art for you. So.
Well,
Yes.
it's funny because if Dee Dee doesn't I have this freestanding tub here that was a mistake by the manufacturer. They said keep it, and she was going to want to take it home and put big planter and make a big, a garden out of it.
Yeah, there's an
cool.
idea. Yeah, it's an excellent
And she
idea.
thought it was too much, and then I've offered it to a nursery here in town who hasn't responded. So, now I'm thinking,
Well,
so
maybe
good suggestion there. That might make Tom like me again.
Yeah, he loves you. So
Yeah.
no, that would be wonderful. Yeah, well, maybe we could find a home for it at the Flagler.
So, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And Frank, I imagine that you never framed the wrong thing or
Oh, God,
gave
no.
somebody the wrong paint back in the day. Not you.
I was thinking about this the other day. My cousin called me up. I was selling specialty varnishes and finishes for the archery industry, and he called me up, and I knew he was a traditional bow hunter, or that was my understanding, and those were most of my customers. And so he called me up. He says, "Listen, I got these arrows, and I know you've got this special varnish because I'm reading Traditional Bow Hunter magazine. I see my cousin's ads in there." And he goes, "Maybe I ought to give him a call." So I said, "Cool." So I sent him the stuff he needed, and he called me up. He says, "This is awful. This is just terrible stuff." And I said, "Well, did you follow the directions?" And he goes, "Well, of course I did." And I said, "Well, talk to me like like I don't know what you're talking about, and just tell me from day, start one, what you did and what you're, did you sand the wood?" He goes, "What wood?" And I go, "The arrows." He says, "Oh no, they're not wooden arrows, they're aluminum shafts." And I
Oh,
said,
geez.
"Well," it's like, well, this stuff's made for wood. So
There you go.
oh my God. So that was probably the most, glaring, error, because it never occurred to me. It's always been when I deal with customers, people I don't know, I always quiz them a lot. I want to learn a lot about what their scope of work is. And you always learn an awful lot that way, because people's impressions, because the way they explain things is not always fully very clarified until you ask some probing questions, right?
Yeah, that's like that game. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, it's that stupid game we played growing up, and we play it these days at parties, and it's a telephone game where one person starts at one and tells the one person what it is, and by the time it gets to the last person, it's never even the same thing.
Not even
ever.
close. Yeah.
No, no. So, hey, I was thinking of a couple things here related to Ron's business. You know, when you were talking about what was that, a cedar shake roof that you were going to do
Right.
erroneously? Yep. So, what type of roofs? Matter of fact, this came up the other day. I was wondering, are there certain roofs you can't do? I guess you can't. Isn't that the one that gets all dirty and just, totally wasted?
You were breaking up a little bit, John, so I didn't
I'm
hear.
sorry. Can you
That's
hear me
all right.
now? Yeah.
I can, yeah.
Is there any type of roof that you can't do? I thought you could do cedar shake because the dirt that gets in those cedar shake pieces of wood, I guess it would probably blow them off when even though you're low pressure.
Yeah. So, well, the low pressure cleaning is with a chemical.
Right.
Chemical, although can be applied to wood, it can change the color of the cedar shake tiles. The other issue with the cedar roof is that many people oil them as part of the maintenance for that. So, again, that makes it very slick, and it's just something that it's a specialty in the way my business is set up. It's not something we can do, but from other roofs that we can do any other roof. So if it's a concrete tile or clay tile, metal roofs, asphalt shingle roofs. I do flat roofs. One of our members has a business that has a flat roof that I clean regularly, and it's a white roof. And to make sure that that's performing the way it should with respect to its ability to reflect sunlight and therefore, manage heat, keep it clean. So that helps that process.
Yeah.
And they really don't require different techniques. I guess the only one that I'm really a stickler about when I train my guys is asphalt shingle. And the one thing is they tend to streak as the dirt's coming off the roof. So always clean with the chemical application from the bottom up and then rinse from the top down.
Okay.
But other than that, we can get up on any roof. And basically what's going on the roofs down here in Florida is that it's a great place that black algae specifically, loves to grow on. Right. And it's because of the humidity and the weather and shade. And, so one of the questions I always get asked is, how often should I clean my roof? And my default answer is every 2 years. However, it's very dependent on weather and, homeowners, how much they can tolerate. And also HOAs, so if the HOA is knocking on your door in a year and a half saying your roof's dirty, then they're probably going to have to get it cleaned sooner.
Right.
And if some homeowners just like it looking spotless, so they're going to do it more often. And other folks can tolerate, the differences in color, because of that algae growth.
I think your wife's calling. No. Sorry.
That's funny. She would kill me.
Right back in just a couple of brief minutes. So stick with us.
That was pretty rough. Okay.
15 seconds.
Tiny bubbles and wine.
A little tiny bubbles, 4 magic bubbles.
Yeah, man.
All right.
That's the other nickname I get from John from time to time is Tiny Bubbles. But usually it's Mr. Oz.
Yeah, it's funny because our doctor. I told Dee Dee the other day, my wife, I said, I'm gonna have to remember everybody's name again. That's terrible. It really is.
You gotta hang a name tag around your computer, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna wear one on each side and one on my metal plate on my head.
I guess the board should have gotten those name tags, huh? We decided not to.
Well, the good doctor for I'm gonna screw it up here. That's why I got my book out because
Dr. Roy?
Yeah, Dr. Roy.
Spicer, yes.
I think the first time he was on, I said, "Yeah, here we are with Dr. Roy with Creedence Clearwater Revival."
Well, that's worked out pretty good because I actually played CCR for him. That's his favorite stuff. So worked out well.
It's
Yeah.
great stuff, man. Yeah, you bet. Well, I was thinking about our the three of us with our last names.
Mhm.
Now, Frank, double Z, double
Yeah.
all
Yes.
the
Yes.
bunch of three E's, 2 L's, Mezapel.
Yeah. That's a
And,
belly. Yeah.
And I'm a JON and a champion with a champion with no H because my
Right.
brother Tom beat the H out of me when I was a kid.
There it is. Yeah.
And then, Ron, with your Mr. Oz name, I got to tell you, one of the things that just struck me, one of my best friends back in high school in Michigan, his name was Randy Mrozinski, M-R-O-Z. We called him Mo and Mirror Man because he used to comb his hair in the front of the mirror before he went out and played at high school
I
games.
have a cousin like that.
He's Fonz, right? Or
Mirror, he'd run out on the floor and all the people in the stand would be yelling, Mirror Man. But Ron's a good looking guy. So I don't imagine you did that in high school back up in Ohio.
I went to school. I grew up in Philadelphia, actually.
Okay. Did you play high school sports?
I did not play high school sports, but outside of school, I played football and baseball as a recreational.
Yeah. Well, that was probably a better way to save your body parts. And, Frank is finding out at age 70. No, you're not 70.
No, I got 3 more years.
That's just amazing. My brother turned 66 yesterday, and he's 3 years older than me. And I just told him I couldn't believe. He says, I can't believe I'm that old either. So,
I know. I just congratulated my brother the other day on the 11th. It was his 61st birthday. He's the baby of the family.
Yeah.
So I said to him, I said, you're 61. And he goes, I am? Yeah. I said, you're born in 59. So do the math.
Well, guys, I got to thank you. So I feel young now. So.
Oh, yeah.
You are young.
Oh, yeah, you are. You are.
Good looking guy. You look good in blue. Your hair's combed. And,
Yeah.
Somebody said to me the other day, because the barbershops are opening up. And of course, I get a number 2. You can cut that with anything. And it takes about 2 minutes. So, the barbers lick their chops. But a friend of mine, he goes, well, when do you know when it's time to get your hair cut? I go, when I have to comb it.
I'm missing the barber. That's one of the things I'm missing.
Oh,
Many
yeah.
that we haven't been able to do. But I found some goop to put my hair that just like glues it to my head. So
There you go. All right.
What do you tuck the mullet into your collared shirt?
That's right. Yes. Not quite there yet.
Yeah, good. Well, it's funny we all haven't seen each other, and it's been 2 months? Hard to believe.
Yes, time has gone so fast. It's
Yeah,
just,
well,
amazing.
every
What
day
was
is
the-
Groundhog Day, really. But
Yes.
Well,
but bringing back the
yeah.
radio show is bringing back some form of normalcy, at least for me. you know,
I agree.
because I mean, I'm going into the studio and that sort of thing. So that's for me, that's part of the normalcy anyways. But yeah, it's the strange times we're in. There's no doubt about that. But you know, we have to press on. We have to look at the bright side. You know, we have wonderful families to look after us, and we have wonderful lives. Really, we live in a beautiful place, and we have great friends. So life is still good.
That's great. We're, you know, down here in the great weather, and like we were talking earlier, Ron, about the Florida time, and you can't, you know, you don't really know the season, and
Mhm.
people are saying, oh yeah, it's summer's, you know, winter's coming, summer's coming. I don't know. I just know that April and May are the months where we live for weather.
Yeah.
And the warm stuff's around the corner. And anyways, but at least we had more than 3 days of winter this year. Maybe we had 4.
And I'll take the warm stuff over the cold.
Oh my goodness.
Stuff any day.
Well, they had snow up in Philadelphia and New York and Boston, I think, over this past weekend, right? Michigan had it. Yeah. Yeah.
A very cold Mother's Day.
Yeah. So, you know,
and that was a different experience. All of us, we were, you know, where you couldn't really get, some people just couldn't get together. So, but
it's hard.
You know, we're slowly but surely, right? We'll get there.
Absolutely.
It'll be over before you know it. And I know people are pushing it, but you know, everybody, you still got to keep the distancing. Please at least put the mask in your back pocket for when you're going in somewhere. And, you know, for me, I went into a Publix last week for the first time in probably 2 months, 3 months.
Right.
And I, you know, didn't realize you had to go one way up and one way down and this and that. And I ran into, there was a Publix employee. She was walking up the wrong way without a mask. And, you know, for me, I couldn't not say anything. I go, what are you doing? Then I got into the next dial. She was going the right way. And I said, I'm really sorry for yelling at you. I haven't been in the grocery store in months, but you know, aren't you supposed to be practicing something here? So that's really bizarre.
Yeah.
And I was amazed at how many people weren't and still aren't wearing masks.
Right.
So,
right.
But
that's interesting. I've been surprised by how many people are, especially in grocery stores. It just seemed like it was
that's the new normal,
few
isn't
exceptions,
it? Yeah.
Where people weren't wearing masks.
Right.
The majority of folks were.
Yeah, that was interesting. I don't know. Maybe it was last. Hey, Frank, I didn't hear it all when they were. I don't know. Were you listening to that?
The commercial
news report.
Yes.
During the break.
Mm-hmm.
Did we hear that they're going back to just take out and dine out next week?
Yes. I think effective immediately is what I thought I heard.
Okay.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of concern about
distancing.
Yeah, people are not really doing as good of a job as they need to do about doing the social distancing, and so the governor is very concerned about that. So,
well, I know that, you know, the tents are going up and outdoor seating and parking places, and boy, that's
pretty intense.
You know, and boy, do we depend on the you never realize how much we depend on the restaurants until we didn't have them.
Well, yeah, I mean, and people don't realize that there's such a huge employer nationally speaking, and it's going to be there's just so many people that are affected. It's the ripple effect is we just got to stand these businesses up just as quick as it's humanly possible, you know. And I mean, I understand that the governor has life and safety concerns, and people need to pay attention to when the governor says you need to spend, you know, your time 6 feet apart from other folks and wear the proper necessary things, and you know, do these things the right way. We can open up the communities a lot quicker, but as long as people, you know, just don't, it's going to be a lot more painful. So that's my soapbox.
Yeah. And
wash your hands often.
Now, Ron, you guys are empty nesters, right?
We are. Yes, I have one in.
Go ahead.
One
I'm
in
sorry.
LA and one in Bahrain, huh? Yeah.
Yep. It's just the two of us.
So what's your son who's in LA? What's he saying is going on? Have you talked to him much about, you know, I mean, young person, what's he, like 18 out in
19
out in LA?
Yeah, we talk every day actually, and he was just up. He drove up to San Francisco. We have some family up in San Francisco, so he drove up there and spent the weekend with them, which was good for him, because he's, basically on his own out there in LA.
Right.
But he's doing well. And,
good. Well, I don't want to cut you guys short, but I guess I am. So we're just about ready to head out of here. And we want to thank you all for listening and being a part of the show. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, John. And we'll be here again next week right here on Meet McBiz.
All right. Thanks a lot, Frank. You did a great job as always.
Thank you.
We'll see you. Thanks. Bye.